A record-breaking fleet of 95 boats, which is set to start the 16th edition of the Transat Jacques Vabre, Normandy-Le Havre, double-handed race from Le Havre to Martinique, is set to encounter very robust conditions, as they leave the English Channel from Sunday afternoon and on the Bay of Biscay Tuesday and Wednesday. A boisterous late autumn passage across the Bay of Biscay has been part and parcel of the race since the first edition in 1993, when a pioneering group of 5 solo Orma multihull skippers and 8 solo IMOCA sailors raced to Cartagena in Colombia. Now, 3 big, successive low-pressure systems are set to challenge the 30th anniversary fleet, which races in 4 classes, 32-meter Ultim and 50-foot Ocean 50 multihulls, and the 60-foot IMOCA and 40-foot Class 40 monohulls. To avoid Biscay and a potentially brutal passage of the notorious Cape Finisterre off the northwest tip of Spain, Race Direction have today modified the course only for the 44-strong Class 40 into 2 stages. After their start today at 13:41 hours local time, the fleet will race directly to an intermediate finish line off Lorient, where they will wait until the weather improves enough to complete a second stage to Martinique. Their result will be scored on aggregated time over the 2 legs. For the record-sized IMOCA fleet of 40 boats, the race is an essential qualifier, which will contribute significantly towards qualification for next year's 2024-5 Vendée Globe, which has an entry limited to 40 boats, when there are presently 44 active projects seeking selection. This 2-handed race to Martinique is followed by a return race to France, starting about 10 days later, which carries an even higher points and miles premium. Due to medical reasons, one of the top hopes, French skipper Charlie Dalen, who won this race in 2017 in the IMOCA, will only start the race on his new Verdier-designed Massif with his co-skipper Pascal Baidgori, before returning to the port, thereby satisfying a part of the Vendée Globe qualifying process. From the remaining 39-strong IMOCA field, there are 3 most frequently tipped favourites. Jeremy Bayou raced the 2022 launched Manuard-designed Charles with outstanding French ace Franck Camar's. All-rounder Camar's could extend his number of Transat Jacques Vabre wins to an unprecedented 5, most recently triumphing in 2021 with Charles Caudrelier in the Ultim race, on Maxi, Edmond de Rothschild. Defending champions on the course are Thomas Ruyant and Morgan Lagravère. They have a new boat in for people, from a new design partnership Coffinit Conch, which is relatively untested so far, but won the Gaillard de Bermudes race earlier in the season. Their training time has been compromised as their boat needed time in the yard after additional strengthening was required. The other Dream Team partnership, also on a new 2023 launch boat, a sister ship to For People, is Johan Richem, twice winner of the solo Route du Rhum in Class 40, who competes with Jan Elis, who is on his 9th Transat Jacques Vabre and who won in 2019 with Dalen. Their new Paprec Archaea has shown great potential. British skipper Sam Goodchild tops the IMOCA Globe Series rankings after a string of consistent 3rd places on key races this season, and Sam has an excellent chance of topping the podium, potentially delivering a first British win in the modern era of the IMOCA class, on For the Planet, the boat which won the race to Martinique last year in the hands of Ruyant and Lagravère. I am not thinking about winning. Goodchild emphasizes, we will just go out and do our best and see what happens. There are 40 boats, and although we have been up there since the start of this year, but the new boats with experienced skippers are always at the front. Goodchild starts his 7th Transat Jacques Vabre. He highlights, we are well prepared. I want to get a good result, and the first part of the year has now put the pressure on a bit, because we want to keep on doing what we have been doing, but it is obviously all about Vendée Globe qualification. We have to do all that we can. And if we don't break anything, we will be fine. We do this to race, but just because we have a well-proven boat, nothing is a given. When we turned up at TR Racing to take on the boat, the first thing they said was, just because this boat has finished 1 Vendée Globe, it does not mean to say it will finish another. So we are going to have fun on this Transat, but we are not going out saying we have finished 3rd in the races so far, so we have to finish 3rd again. We will just try to sail tidily and not make too many mistakes and see where we are at the line. There are 9 IMOCAs from outside of France set to compete, including 2 boats skippered by German sailors, including Boris Herrmann, sailing with Brit Will Harris, on Team Malaysia. 3 Swiss IMOCAs are in the fleet, including Justine Metros, racing with Julian Villian, on Teamwork.net, Alan Rohrer and Simon Costa, on Hublot, and Oliver Here and Nils Palmieri, on Oliver Here Ocean Racing. Britain are strongly represented with Sam Davies and Jack Boutel on Initiatives Coeur, a duo well capable of finishing on the podium, whilst Medallia, sailed by Pip Hare and Nick Bubb, are focused on learning their boat since winter modifications and enhancing Hare's Vendée Globe qualification standings. Asia are well represented with Jinkin Shu, who lost his left arm at the elbow at the age of 12, racing with veteran Brit Mike Golding, and Japan's Kojiro Shiraishi, on DMG Mori. All 4 classes race different courses with the objective that they should arrive in Martinique around the same time. The Ultim Fleet raced down into the South Atlantic to Ascension Island, a total of 7,500 nautical miles. Theirs is expected to be the closest race yet between these foiling giants capable of sustained speeds in excess of 40 knots. Although Maxi Edmond de Rothschild, Charles Cordelier and Erwin Israel sail the Verdier design, which has been dominant on ocean races for 3 years, Banque Populaire, sailed by Amel Leclerc and Seb Joss, have just won an 24-hour offshore and could break the Maxi Edmond de Rothschild monopoly. Favorites in Class 40 is the Italian-flagged Alla Grande Pirelli.
de la Transat Jacques Vabre, Normandie.